Hi, my name is Reagan Hadaway, and this is my slideshow presentation over events that have impacted the education of English language learners. The first one that we're going to look at is Brown versus Board of Education. This case happened on May 17th of 1954. It was a unanimous decision by the U.S. Supreme Court. It was a case in which racial segregation of children in public schools was unconstitutional. This case helped to inspire the civil rights movement. According to Crawford, the reading on page 109, it was said that outlawed segregated schools as inconsistent with equal education. Its main focus was on public schools. According to the right reading on page 84, it stated that states are responsible for providing students with equal educational opportunities. This also helped open the door to bilingual programs. It was one of the cornerstones of the civil rights movement, and it helped establish that separate but equal education, in fact, was not at all equal during this time. The next one we're going to look at is the National Defense of Educational Act. It was implemented on September 2nd of 1958. According to Crawford on page 106, it was the first effort at the national level to strengthen mathematics, science, and foreign language. This law or act and the Elementary and Secondary Educational Act, also known as ESEA, were important in providing schooling for English learners. This act helped provide funding for schools at all levels, K through 12. It was also used to help improve schools and the students' learning education so they can grow in the content and not just be lagging behind. This highly promoted secondary education for students to keep going after elementary and middle school. This also began the involvement of the government's involvement in the educational system. The next one we are going to look at is the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, or ESEA. This act was implemented on April 9th of 1965. This act brought education into the forefront. Also, like I stated before, was related to the National Defense of Educational Act. According to Crawford on page 106, it addressed the academic needs of poor children. This act targeted low-income families, wanted to help reinforce that for students who really couldn't afford school, like the high-income families. This law and act and the National Defense of Education Act were important in providing schooling for English learners, like I stated in the slide before. According to Crawford on page 107, this act was able to provide financial aid for English learner programs to help them grow and to be able to teach English language learners to help them succeed in school. And this was one of the nation's national educational laws. The next one we are going to look at is the Bilingual Education Act. This act was implemented on January 2nd of 1968. This act was signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson. According to Crawford on page 107, the U.S. government signaled its first commitment to assisting students with limited English skills. The Bilingual Educational Act was also known as the Title VII Act. Also, it focuses on supporting programs, training teachers, and develop instructional materials so for them to be able to better help students who are not originally English speakers, but students who are English language learners. This act wanted to involve parents and include parental involvement. This was also a part of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. The next one we're going to look at is a case of Lau versus Nichols. This happened on January 21st of 1974. This was most important in a court decision regarding English language learner education, according to Wright on page 84. It was founded that it violated the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It showed that schools must provide non-English speaking students instruction in English to cooperate in equal education. From this case, it created the Lau remedies, which pushed districts and schools to implement bilingual education into their schools as bilingual educational programs. It was an important decision in the bilingual education history, and it was to help to provide students with appropriate relief. The next act we are going to look at is the Equal Education Opportunities Act. This was implemented on August 21st of 1974. It put into place because of the essence of Lau. According to Wright on page 84, it states that in the act that no state shall deny educational opportunities based on race, color, sex, or national origin, meaning that none of these people can be denied from going to school or having the ability to learn education because they are not of the same race or sex or national origin or color as the main majority of the other students. This was an important aspect of the Equal Education Opportunities Act in Section 1703, which requires schools to take action to overcome language barriers that impede equal participation by students in its instructional programs, according to Crawford on page 127. This act helped change public education for the better. This was also rooted from the Brown versus Board of Education Act. The next one we are going to look at is the Castaneda versus Pickard. This happened in 1981. Its major outcome was a result in the three-prong test. And the three-prong test is to determine whether schools are taking appropriate action to address the needs of English language learners, according to Wright on page 85. The three parts include sound educational theory, implemented effectively, and evaluated to determine whether they are helping students overcome language barriers, according to Crawford on page 127. It has been successful in helping out inadequate programs for English language learners. The next one is the United States versus Texas. This was also in 1981. The courts ordered the districts to create plans to implement language programs. It benefited Mexican American students to adjust to the American culture. According to Crawford on page 125, the federal court ordered that required bilingual education statewide in grades K through 12. While it was successful, it was eventually overturned by an appeal, and it wanted the Texas Educational Agency to be responsible for desegregating Texas. The next one is the No Child Left Behind Act. This happened in January 8, 2001. It was the policy for a change of minority students to learn English. It wants to shut the door to student achievement gaps. It focuses on students having fair and equal opportunity to have a high quality education. States are required to create own content standards and assessments to measure standards and hold schools, districts, and states accountable, according to Wright on page 76. It is a reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and according to Wright on page 76, it brought renewed attention to the needs of English language learners. According to the Common Core State Standards on the state-led effort initiated by the National Governors Association and Council of Chief State School Officers, or CCSSO, to develop language, arts, and math standards, according to Wright on page 79. It requires to gain elementary and secondary educational act. It's to identify the essential knowledge and skills students need, according to Wright on page 79. It does not address or replace standards for ELLs, but does design and develop academic language for not just those students, but all of them. And it is an opportunity to make instructional assessment changes that will benefit ELL students to gain higher achievement, according to Wright on page 79. Here is my sources from Wright and Crawford, the readings, and some other additional information I found it on online sources. Thank you.